In the next lesson with the quarterstaff we want to talk about feints. So feints with the quarterstaff are also using similar concept like feints with a broadsword and feints with a small sword. So the rule of thumb is when you use a feint with a quarterstaff trying to do a cut, you do it just like with a broadsword, you are feinting over the opponent's weapon. So when I have a broadsword and I feint to an inside, my opponent changed and then I go for an outside cut to his forearm, like so. Okay? Or from an inside, I feint to his outside and then come forward to his inside. So I'm feinting over his blade. The disengagement engagement is over the blade. And with the broadsword we can use also like double feints, like, okay, or on the other side. Okay, but with the quarterstaff, Wylde is saying that you should not do that because the quarterstaff is too heavy. When you thrust with the quarterstaff and doing feints, you do it just like with a small sword. You are feinting and disengaging under the blade of your opponent. If he follows, you thrust forward. Okay, so you feint under the blade, disengagement, he follows, and then you can thrust. So this is the same with the quarterstaff when you're using thrust. You don't go over the blade like in cut fencing, but you disengage under the blade. Okay, and if he follows, you can go forward and thrust. So with the quarterstaff, feints work quite well. So an example, we are in an inside guard, and I start my feint to his outside, he follows into an outside guard, and then I change and come here to his inside again. So, okay, I can do different types. I can also just raise, and if he already follows, I come to the inside, or I do a bigger movement with my staff, and then come here. And as you can see, it is good to use the traverse to create an angle. Okay, this is the feint from the inside guard. From the outside guard, this is my personal favorite. Then you step with an inside cut to his inside, he follows, and then you just go around and cut with 7, with a medium cut, or you cut with a cut number 2. Okay, if you cut with a cut number 2, you are already protected if he comes back with his staff to parry again. So, outside guard works quite nice. From the footwork, you just step forward a little bit, and then you step with your left leg and come here. And of course, you can not only attack his head, here you can also go for his arm or his hand. Okay, when you go for his hand, you are also in a bind, because if he comes back here, you already have it here, and if this was not enough, you can still thrust. Okay, so this is feints with the quarterstaff with a cut. This especially works quite nice when you are in half stop, because you have shortened your weapon. You have shortened your weapon, and then you can easier make a feint. Okay, like so. Okay, so you're quicker. Same from the outside guard. I'm in half stop. Okay. This works really, really good. Okay, from the half staff. So this is another possibility. Long grip or the half staff grip. So feinting a thrust with a quarterstaff is a quite nice thing to use. So here you go under the staff of your opponent, feint the thrust to his outside, and as soon as he turns, you pull back and thrust to his inside again. Like 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. This works also quite nice if he tries to use the back of his staff to parry your way. Okay, if he tries to use a smaller motion. So you have to go disengage under the weapon of your opponent, feint his thrust, and the moment he comes there, you step forward, slide your hands. And you can turn in an inside guard position or even an outside guard position. Of course, keep in mind, with the inside thrust, again, you create an inside guard here. Okay, one more time. And when he comes back, you already are protected. So from the outside guard, this works also quite nice. It feels a little bit more awkward so you disengage under the weapon of your opponent, fake a thrust, step forward in the outside guard position. This is your thrust. Going under, faking, and going here. One more time. Okay, so with the thrust disengaging under the staff, with a cut over the staff. So we repeat quickly from the inside guard, feinting to his outside, like so. With the half staff, it's the same. From the outside guard, and the half staff with the outside guard, and from the inside with the thrust. And from the outside with the thrust. And that's all. See you next lesson.
Sehr schön, Gott.
Oh, schön.
Sehr schön. Sehr, sehr.